Okay, so let's dive deep into it. Palantir, why is this a company that you have chosen to make a position in? And what are some of the unique things you thought about once you discovered the company that forced you to make an investment?
So there was actually one pivot point where I kind of got interested in Palantir. So I had a lot of friends in Silicon Valley, and they used to talk about it. And my point was, okay, just another Silicon Valley company. And but then I heard about at some point of time that Palantir has done this so deal with BP, where BP invested money into Palantir. Now, BP is in, I mean, it's one of the super major, and the way we work is quite different and quite unique in terms of several other super majors. And I was looking at the deal, and I realized that overall the equity deal is around $1 billion across over 10 years, which comes roughly around 100 million. So, I mean, that was pretty much what I read in the public space. So it was quite significant commitment. I mean, like, for example, I was running a project in Nigeria those days for field development planning, and the total capex for my project was nearly like 900 million, 1 billion. So
Right.
they were putting this much money in one company. So exactly like what they are trying to achieve with it. They have their own resources, they have disposal. I mean, they all large companies are, I mean, can work, happy to work with Palantir. So there was something that caught my attention, and why. Another thing was that if I look the largest deals in the digital space in oil and gas those days, which includes even scope beyond analytics like softwares and services along with it.
Right.
The largest deal was of the order of 70 million a year. So I was saying that BP is going, and BP has done a deal with this company, which is already 40% above anything has ever happened in oil and gas.
Right.
So what they are trying to achieve. And of course, then I started following it. I saw, learned over the time, like the work Palantir has done with BP in North Sea. And that's pretty much my starting point, is that this is something different. And initially the information related to it was bit in pieces. The second was, then once the clients started speaking about it, and of course, I mean, I work in industry, I mean, I work in strategy consulting, so you do get to talk to a lot of people. You ask their point of view about it. And yeah, I met people sometime who have their kids working for Palantir, and sometimes people, like, we were doing something and Palantir name pops up. So the pieces started to coming together.
Can
I
you
was
give us
also
some
doing.
can you give us some insight into that, into like talking to people that have firsthand experience with Palantir? Did they describe it in a certain way that turned you on when it came to the investment?
So there were like two things which caught my attention. People who work for Palantir, they're actually very close-hearted. Like they don't share much. I
Yeah.
mean, I have interaction with Palantir team as well. I mean, in one of the meeting and talk to about it. But one thing what I learned is, like, I asked the father of one of the person, like, who was working for Palantir is, I hope she is still working for Palantir. That I mean, why she picked Palantir out of college? I mean, the answer was that she was looking for something challenging and something really, I mean, not like a regular job where she can have more responsibilities right from the starting, do on things which makes larger impact,
Right.
rather than going and working on social media or like a lot of things people do.
Right.
So that's pretty much the answer I got. People, when I interacted with Palantir people, I think they came across very honest, very simple. I mean, they were very to the point. Like when we were discussing the kind of, we were exploring some opportunities. Okay, so they were like pretty honest about it. I mean, I really liked. I asked them questions about some of the things I know about company and branding. Okay, this is what I understand you can do, and so they clarified things on that. So that was pretty good. I mean, but which is very different. Like two companies I saw different, Snowflake and Palantir. That required that I was really impressed with their sales team, the approach they have, the kind of opportunities they look. Of course, I mean, what we discussed was still under NDA and confidential, but they made far better impression than a lot of other digital companies I have seen in the field.